Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T UVerse TV. Now the rain has subsided, the clouds are breaking up, and the roof is open. Here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays get set to do battle in the final game of this three-game weekend series. And welcome in, everyone, along with Mark McLemore and Steve Busby. Glad to have you along on this Sunday afternoon. Again, Tom Grieve off, scheduled time off for Tom Grieve. And, Mac, this is going to be an important game for the Rangers. First of all, trying to win a series for the first time in seems like forever. But secondly, of getting to Mark Buehrle and having a good outing today by Nick Tepesch.
Yes, they are definitely looking for another good outing by Nick Tepesch. He had a very solid outing in his last outing against the Angels. We went 6 solid innings, only gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs. Didn't get the win, but he pitched extremely well. So the Rangers are looking for another performance just like that from Nick Tepesch today.
And we're looking for development, as Ron Washington and John Daniels have said, going down the stretch of 2014. And certainly the development of Nick Tepesch is going to play a big role in what the Rangers have to look forward to for 2015 and beyond. So hopefully a good outing today for Tepesch, and the Rangers get a series win against Buehrle and the Blue Jays. We'll come back to Toronto. The starting lineups in the first pitch coming up right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event now playing at a Ford dealer near you. And by AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Well, the skies are clearing. We'll take one more break and be back with the start of this afternoon's game right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Tulowitzki in left field. Giovanni Soto catches, the center fielder. Leonis Martin bats seventh. Adam Rosales at third base today. And Rougned Odor bats ninth. As we get things underway, Daniel Robertson takes a strike from Mark Buehrle.
And the Sonic scouting report on Mr. Buehrle. 10-6 record. A 2.64 ERA. This guy likes to work quick. Second pitch, Roberts flies out to left field. Got a 10-1 record in his first 12 starts, but he has lost his last 5, so he's looking to turn things around here and turn them around pretty quickly.
Yeah. Blue Jays need for him to turn them around, and he and R.A. Dickey, the mainstays of this Blue Jay staff. But Buehrle, don't let that 0-5 fool you too much. So that's 360 earned run average, so it's not like he's been getting lit up. But the Blue Jays just not scoring a lot of runs for him, and one of those streaks where things just haven't quite gone his way. Here's Elvis, and he takes a strike from Buehrle. Elvis 265, 2 home runs, 23 driven in. Buehrle missing a bit low, and if you blink too much, you're going to miss a pitch or two. Well, Mark Buehrle, they start timing these things, and Buehrle works faster than anybody else in baseball. 17 seconds, just a click over 17 seconds between the time the pitch or the ball is thrown back to him and he throws the next pitch. That's the quickest in baseball, and he misses just outside. 2-2 now to Elvis. Buehrle and R.A. Dickey, as a matter of fact, his teammate is right up there at the top also. He is at 18.2 seconds. You get those two guys going back to back, you can figure on a quick baseball game.
Yeah, you like facing guys like that.
Yeah, I would think so.
They're around the plate. They're getting up there. They're not thinking. They're not stepping off. They're not doing a lot of other things. They just want to throw strikes.
The right field is dropping in a hurry, goes toward the line, and uses that very good burst of speed that he possesses to make the grab. That's out number 2. Take a look at the Blue Jays defense today, brought to you by Progressive. You saw Anthony Gossi in right field chasing down that ball, and you saw Melky Cabrera in left handle Daniel Robertson's ball. They joined Kobe Rasmussen center. Dan Johnson at first, Kawasaki and Reyes up the middle, Tollison the start at third, and Deoner Navarro again catching. Here's Beltre getting a partial day off. He is today's DH. Ron Washington, despite all the injuries and having not a full complement of regulars, trying to give Adrian at least a little bit of time off this turf. And Adrian, of course, has had the leg problems the last several years, and Ron Washington trying to protect him as much as he possibly can. Under normal circumstances, you could look for Adrian to get a couple of days at the DH spot, but not enough players healthy to do that.
Yeah, it's tough to take him out of the lineup, offensively or defensively, but especially offensively. He's leading the league in hitting, so can't sit him down too much.
Lazy fly ball to Gossi in right field, and that'll do it. So 3 balls in the air off Buehrle. Rangers gone in order. We played a half inning in Toronto. The Rangers nothing. The Blue Jays coming up. face Tepish. Jose Reyes leads off. Munenori Kawasaki is bats second. Then it's Melky Cabrera, the left fielder. Jose Bautista again DHing. Deanna Navarro bats fifth and catches. Colby Rasmussen center. Dan Johnson, the first baseman. Steve Tollison at third. And batting ninth, the right fielder, Anthony Gose. Now here's Reyes, and Tepish starts him off with a belt-high strike. It is 0-1.
And the Sonic scouting report on Nick Tepish. Overall, he's got a 3-5 record with an ERA just over 4. And he's looking to turn things around. And the key for Nick Tepish today is really going to be getting that slider where he wants it, being able to execute that pitch. And when he's able to do that, he can be very devastating.
Ball's behind now, 2 balls and a strike. Reyes, the switch hitter up there from the left side, 271. The average overall with 7 home runs and 28 driven in. Hits this one well to right center field and deep. Up the alley, Robertson into the alley, slides and makes the catch. Well, a great jump by Daniel Robertson using that great speed of his to run down a ball right at the warning track, and he went to both knees to make the grab.
It's a beautiful play by Robertson. Reyes gets a fastball, 2-0 pitch, and drills it into right center field. But Robertson's speed, he just runs it down, runs right underneath it. Nice sliding catch. You see the concentration right there. A little adjustment at the end. Nice play.
Well, some outstanding defense by Daniel Robertson to start things off. The speedy outfielder for the Rangers. Now Munenori Kawasaki, and takes low and inside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Kawasaki at 289, no home runs and 4 RBI. A pesky type hitter up there, and in the past he has gotten to the Rangers a little bit. He has been a thorn in their side from time to time. But Tepish, the advantage in the count, 1-2 very quickly. Nick also working quickly this afternoon, back to the plate, and Kawasaki fouls it off. Nick Tepish has faced Kawasaki a couple of times, and Kawasaki 1 for 2 against him. That pitch just fouled off the glove of Giovanni Soto. We'll try it again in a ball and 2 strikes. Blue Jays come in and tied with the Yankees, 4 games behind division leading Baltimore in the American League East. Rangers, of course, will see the Yankees for the next 4 days. After the conclusion of today's game, on to New York, and tomorrow night we'll start a 4-game series. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday afternoon in the Big Apple. Miles Michaelis and Shane Green, the opponents for tomorrow night on the mound. And Kawasaki again showing you how much of a pest he can be at the plate. Slapping pitches foul.
He handles the bat well. You know, when the pitch is close, it's something that he doesn't think he can do anything with. He can just foul it off. Those are the guys that tend to get under a pitcher's skin just a little bit.
Yeah. Up the middle, and Elvis from his knees throws. Well, it's off the mark. Oh, a great effort by Elvis Andrews. How in the world he got off a throw, much less a fairly accurate throw? Unbelievable.
Wow. Great play by Elvis going up the middle on this ball. See him go to his left and dive. That turf, that ball's getting up the middle there quick, and then he spins somehow on his knees and gets off a pretty good throw. Not quite as accurate, but that's a very difficult play to make. Nice effort on Elvis's part.
Wow. Now that would have been the one if he'd made that play.
That would have been the one. You're right.
For the next month.
Probably the rest of the year. Wow, look at that. As fast as he's going toward right field, gets the ball and then spins on his knees. To be anywhere close to first base was a great effort.
And Melky Cabrera, first ball swinging, pops it up on the left side. Elvis calling off Adam Rosales. And Elvis backpedals to make the grab. Bill Cabrera makes the second out of the inning. And we get one more look at that Elvis play.
Keep in mind, he's spinning around on his knees, and during that process, he's transferring the ball from his glove to his throwing hand and getting a good grip on it. There's a lot going on that play right there. And that was a great effort.
Well, 2 gone now with Kawasaki still at first. Here's Jose Bautista. The second straight day Bautista handling the DH chores. Joey Bats, as they call him up here. A 289 average, 17 home runs, 54 driven in. More DHing now for Bautista with Encarnacion on the disabled list. Adam Lind also on the DL. Kawasaki with pretty good speed, so with 2 outs, Tepesh needs to keep a pretty close eye on him. He has a stealing lead. Mac told you last night, getting that front foot out on the carpet. Now let's take a look at the Rangers defense delivered to you by New Braunfels Convention and Visitors Bureau. Smolinski, Martin, and Robertson in the outfield, left, center, and right. Jimenez at first. Odor and Andrews up the middle. Adam Rosales at third. And Giovanni Soto catching. Rip and a miss by Bautista. No balls and a strike. Mac, you think throwing over to first base that all those times can make a hitter a little bit anxious?
Yes, very anxious. I think pitchers sometimes they'll tend to do that just to try and get that hitter to be just a little antsy at the plate. And the same thing goes with the runner on first.
Couple of pitches inside. That was a slider that I don't think that's where Nick intended it, but it worked out pretty well.
No, that's not where he wanted that one. I think Soto was set up down and away for that one.
0-2 the count as Tepesh has the advantage. And Bautista waiting, hitting out of that slightly open stance. Kawasaki, the runner at first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Off the end of the bat, shallow right field. Odor angling out. And Rugdead makes the grab. That will do it. Odor showing you pretty good range out there. Very casually into right field. No runs a hit, 1 left. After 1, no score. Game, Blue Jays with the only hit and base runner of the game. Chris Jimenez, the cleanup hitter for Ron Washington today, leading things off, and Burley goes to work with a pitch outside for ball 1. Chris at 261. He has fallen on hard times of late, but Ron Washington going through the available folks today, so he's got as much of a chance to do some damage in the cleanup spot as anybody. So that's why Chris is in there. Jimenez just 1 for his last 17 times to the plate. Takes a strike to make it 2-1. Mark Burley, the 35-year-old left-hander, comes back with a strike. 2-2 now. Burley, 13 consecutive years with 10-plus wins each year, 200-plus innings. He has been an Iron Man.
You know, that's durability. That's what you want to have. Somebody that you know is going to take the ball every fifth day. But 13 years, that's incredible.
13 years. Amazing.
Never been on the DL.
Nope.
449th consecutive start.
Innings pitched. Active leaders, Burley right there at the top. And ball 4. So a rare walk given up by Burley to the leadoff man with Jimenez at first. Smolinski coming up. Let's say hello to John Radigan. John?
Yeah, Buzz, you know, Yogi Berra once said that 90% of the game is half mental, and when I talked to Jimenez before the game, he kind of echoed that and said it's all about mental approaches. They try to get their feet back under them as a team.
I think everybody wants to, you know, try to hit a 6-run home run when we're down by 5 runs. And, you know, really the point there is you need to get guys on base. So you can do whatever you possibly can do, whether that's working good at bat, single, double. You know, you're not up there trying to swing for the fences because hitting a 6-run home run is not in the books as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just, a lot of it is just toning it down and really kind of staying within yourself and, you know, going out there and just performing.
And taking a walk if that's what's available, or as Wash would say, guys, doing what the game asks you to do. Back up to you.
Thank you, John. Yeah, very good points. It sounds so simple, and yet it's so difficult for guys, for everybody to do. I don't care how long you've been in the game and how solid a baseball player you are. Some days it's almost impossible to get yourself to do that. Jimenez caught going the wrong way, and he was picked off 1-3-4 on the caught stealing. Well, Burley at the right time with that move to first.
Burley's got one of the best moves in the game. Very deceptive. And that's probably his B move right there that he used. But he's very good at picking runners off first base.
I would imagine that was probably a hit and run. Huh?
Yes.
Smolinski lofting a pop fly into foul territory. That's going to drop untouched. And Johnson over to take a look, but it's out of his reach.
You know, Wash trying to create some offense. It's not going to be easy with Burley out there on the mound. If you get somebody on there, you may want to try and create some offense with a hit and run. And, you know, that looked like that was probably the situation there.
Now the 1-2 pitch to Smolinski. In the air to center. Coming on, Colby Rasmus. 2 gone. Folks, each year the foundation helps more than 2,000 kids play baseball in the Rangers RBI programs and gives more than 200 kids a chance to get healthy in the Just Keep Living program, and provides better baseball and softball fields to hundreds of kids through the Globe Life Grant program. Help us help more kids by making a donation today at TexasRangers.com/foundation. Giovanni Soto takes a pitch down and in. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Soto in his second game he caught here on Friday night, just off the disabled list after that knee reconstruction. Heard it the last week or next to last week in spring training. Rip and a miss here, and it's 2-2. Giovanni took an 0 for 4 on Friday night, and not an easy task when you're wondering about your timing to face a guy like Burley, who could mess up your timing.
He can definitely mess up your timing. You know, you've got slow, slower, and slower than that.
And then a little running fastball that is taken for call strike 3. No runs, no hits, a walk, and he was picked off. After 1.5 Rangers, nothing Blue Jays, nothing Fox Sports Southwest. for a chance to have it shown on one of our upcoming broadcasts, and that's thanks to the good folks at AT&T. Simply use hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and your photo might be selected to be aired during the season. We will have today's selection a little bit later on for you. Bottom of the second inning, Deanna Navarro leading off, takes a strike from Nick Tepesch. Navarro, Rasmus, and Johnson, the first three Blue Jays to do the swinging against Nick. Nick gave up a base hit in the first inning, but no damage. Back to Navarro, and he just missed inside. Navarro, another one of the switch hitters for the Blue Jays. .260 average overall with 5 home runs. He has driven in 38. Now 2-1 the count. Nick Tepesch, as you look at Navarro's numbers for the year, 300 on base percentage. Towering foul ball down the right side. Robertson over to take a look, but that's well back and out of play. And it evens the count at 2-2. Say Nick Tepesch against the Blue Jays has just faced them once prior to today, and that did not go well. He gave up 6 runs back here on the 7th of June last year. 7 innings of work. Rangers went down to defeat 6-1 that day. Nick took the loss. They're trying for a little redemption here this afternoon. And Yu Darvish, who got the W here on Friday night. Popped up behind home plate. Back to take a look is Giovanni Soto, but that's back into the seats. Rangers have won 2 of their last 4 games away from Arlington. Yu Darvish getting that win on Friday night. But ball club seems like it's been struggling everywhere. No matter, might have even struggled during the All-Star break. To right field and deep. Back is Robertson. He is at the wall. That ball's gone. Deanna Navarro with his 6th home run of the year. The Blue Jays lead it 1-0.
Tepesch left the pitch out over the plate. Navarro's got some pop in his bat. Fastball, a 2-2 pitch right down the middle of the plate, and Navarro just doesn't miss it.
And you can see by Tepesch's reaction, he knew it too. Have I ever told you how much I hate that sound?
Once or twice,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Nick would agree with that, that not being a very pleasant sound. Well, Toronto, the updated figure now trailing Baltimore by 1 in the home run derby of 4 teams in the American League. Rasmus, wicked shot, picked up cleanly on the short hop by Jimenez, and he takes it to the bag. Wow,
nice play by Jimenez.
Magic.
Yeah.
Man.
Rocket. See as Rasmus gets a fastball inside. Turns on it, 1 hop, and Jimenez picks it like he's been doing it over there for 10 years.
Yeah, that may be the one and only advantage of being a right-handed first baseman. That's not to your backhand.
Yeah, that's a tough. That would be a tough play. It might probably be a double if it was a left-handed first baseman. They're not being able to get that glove across his body to the ball.
Dan Johnson fouling off the next pitch. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Johnson a 167 average in limited duty, just called up once Adam Lynn had to go on the disabled list. Takes that next pitch high. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Johnson, a 32-year-old veteran infielder. 2-1 now. Excuse me, 2-2. My mistake. The center field. in a hurry is Leonis Martini. He can't get it. It's off his glove. And that's going to allow Johnson to take an extra base. Well, Leonis kind of casually going over into the alley. The bounce was a little bit higher than what he was ready for. And carrying off the glove, that will probably go as a single and an error. Puts Dan Johnson in scoring position with 1 out.
Leonis goes over to his right, just kind of casually loping over and not realizing that on this turf, that ball's going to take a higher hop than it would if you were on regular grass. Ball tips off of his glove and allows Dan Johnson to get into scoring position.
Yeah, they gave him a double on that, so charitable scoring for Dan Johnson, but he still is at second base no matter what you call it. 1 out, and Steve Tollefson, getting the start at third base today, takes a strike from Tepesh. Saw Tollefson in yesterday's ballgame, came on as a pinch hitter for Juan Francisco, and then stayed in the game to finish it up at third. 252 the average, 5 home runs, making it 3 home runs, and 12 driven in. Tepesh quickly with the advantage in the count at 0-2. Nick nods in agreement and sets. Hit him with a fastball. Tried to get that pitch in, and he got it in all right. Right in the shoulder of Steve Tollefson. That puts runners at first and second for Anthony Gose, and Mike Maddox headed out to the mound.
We've talked about how quickly Mark Burley works, and it looks like Tepesh is working, relatively quickly. Does that help a pitcher to work faster or slower?
Well, Mac, I really think it depends on your pitching personality, what's comfortable for you. I don't think there is any perfect way to work, but you need to work quickly enough within yourself to be able to repeat things. I think when you start slowing things down, taking a long time between pitches, taking a long time to decide on a pitch, it's hard to repeat the physical mechanics of a motion. It's like a hitter. You swing once every 5 minutes, chances of repeating a good swing are not real good. And same thing goes with pitching. You take a long time in between pitches, you're not going to repeat the mechanics as well as if you speed things up a bit. But on the other side of that coin is if you try to artificially speed up your tempo, you're going to get all out of whack. No doubt about that. You're going to look like a guy that's pitching with his hair on fire, going all over the place.
Yeah, it seems over the years you see pitchers, they start getting in trouble when they change that rhythm.
Right.
If they get a runner on or a couple runners on, they drastically slow down.
Yep.
And then that just snowballs from there.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And that really is the worst thing you can do when you get runners on and you have to make a pitch. Anthony Gose takes low and inside for ball 1. Gose hitting at .233, his second straight start in right field for the Blue Jays. Got runners at first and second with 1 out here in the second inning. Ball 2. Remember yesterday, Gose laid down a bunt for a base hit, and that's caused the Rangers to alter their defensive alignment just a bit. Adam Rosales, the third baseman, in at the cut of the even with the bag at third, and coming in as the pitch is made. Ball 3 is low. Well, Nick Tepesh working himself into a little spot of trouble here. He's already given up the leadoff home run to Navarro. A 1-out double and a hit batter who put runners at first and second. And the number 9 hitter, Anthony Gose, is ahead 3-0. Now 3-1. Johnson, the runner at second. He is trailed by Tollefson at first. Ground ball, base hit to the left side. The stop sign is put up at third for Johnson. The throw comes into the plate, and it's a good one from Jake Smolinski. But the base hit going the other way for Gose. That loads him up with just 1 out for the top of the order, Jose Reyes.
From 3-0, Tepesh threw a fastball on the outside part of the plate to Gose. He took that one for a strike. And he followed it up with another one, and then Ghost hit this one into left field for a base hit. Smolinski makes a good play charging that ball. You know, on the turf, you can come pretty much as hard as you want to get to that ball and cut down that distance, because you know you're going to get a true hop. Comes in and makes a strong throw to the plate.
Nick now wiping the perspiration from his brow. He knows he's in a tough spot. Jose Reyes hit the ball sharply his first time up. Chased Daniel Robertson all the way back to the warning track in right center field. And a hard hit ball, base hit to right field. One run is home. Here comes the throw from Robertson. It's cut off. And sliding in safely is Tylerson with his second run on that base hit. And the Blue Jays take a 3-0 lead. And that's the second time that we have seen Chris Jimenez at first cut a ball off when it looked like there might have been a play at home plate.
Right, and that's a situation. There's no reason to cut that ball, because you're not going to get Ghost going from first to third. If you have no play there, you might as well let the ball go through and see if you've got a chance at that runner at the plate. So it's just a matter of inexperience on Jimenez's part to keep cutting that ball. And if you're going to cut it and you want to keep that runner from going to third base, you've got to go get the ball. You can't stand deep there and wait for the ball to get to you. You've got to go get it.
And again, we talked about it last night. Of the 8 players that have started at first base this year for the Rangers, only 3 of them had that as their primary position. There goes Reyes. A blood throw to second. And the Rangers will give Reyes second base. Well, Reyes now has himself in scoring position also with just 1 out. Munenori Kawasaki is the hitter. Kawasaki in an infield single his first time. The Rangers now pull the infield all the way in. A little limp line drive and a race to second base, and it's won by Odor. Heady play by Rougned Odor to get an inning-ending double play, doubling off Jose Reyes at second base. Now the damage is done, though. 3 runs for the Blue Jays on 3 hits. Make that 4 hits. And 1 left. After 2, Toronto 3, Texas nothing. Third inning. And Leonis Martin takes a strike. Martin leading off for the Rangers, who now trail 3-0. And he pounds a base hit to right field as Burley left one up in the strike zone. And Leonis said, "Thank you very much." A leadoff single for the Rangers here in the third. And during the half inning, Mac and I were talking about Chris Jimenez and inexperience at first. And Ron Washington over there with Tim Bogart talking to Chris Jimenez, also with Adrian Beltre saying, okay, in these situations, here's what has to happen. And you talk about development of players. This is exactly what development is all about.
Yeah, this is a learning experience and a teaching moment for Ron Washington and Bogey and Adrian Beltre. You know, just letting Jimenez know, okay, Jimenez, no, this is what you're supposed to do in that situation. Mm-hmm. This is the second time he's cut one off with a possible play at the plate. So it's a developmental time for this team right now, and you know, hopefully they're able to learn from the mistakes that they're making right now.
Adam Rosales, the hitter, and he has jumped out in front of the count. 2 balls and no strikes to Burley. Rosales at 294, getting his start at third base in place of Adrian Beltre this afternoon, giving Adrian a half day off. 3-0 now the count. Rosales just 1 for 11 lifetime against Mark Burley, but Burley doing him a favor here, not able to throw a strike on the first 3 pitches. Comes back with ball 4 as he missed. That's the second walk given up by Burley today, and runners at first and second, nobody out for Rougned Odor. And before Odor steps in, let's take time for a Mazda game break with Rick Renner. Rick. All right, Rick, here it's the Blue Jays leading 3-0 in our DirecTV standings in the American League Central for you. The Tigers with a 4.5 game lead on the Tribe. Bunt to third, and Tollison throws on to Kawasaki, the second baseman covering. So Odor, against a tough left-hander in Burley, gets that sacrifice bunt down very effectively. Now runners at second and third with 1 out for the top of the order.
That's a great bunt by Odor, not only doing it against a tough left-hander, but doing it on turf in a situation where they're expecting him to bunt, so that third baseman's in just a little bit more than normal, and drops it down perfectly. The only play third baseman's got is go to first base, and that's exactly what he wanted.
Well, here's Daniel Robertson for his second at bat of the afternoon. He flied to left field to start things off. Blue Jays with 1 out and runners at second and third play the infield back. And a little tapper foul down the first base side. It is 0-1. Robertson with 6 RBIs in limited playing time this year. He's got an opportunity here to increase that number with even just an out. Rangers would love for him to plate a couple, though, and get right back in this game. Daniel 4 for his last 7 times to the plate, last couple of ball games. High and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Burley, as you can see, working from the stretch with runners at second and third. Having trouble getting the ball down. Robertson back in the box, and Navarro flashing the signs out. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Burley has that ability to make the fastball move a couple of different ways. A little cutter and a little 2-seam fastball.
And after throwing those changeups up there for like 78, 70, or 75 miles an hour, he throws his fastball and it looks like it's 105.
Little looper down the right field line. That is trouble. It's in for a base hit. 1 run is home. Here comes Rosales to throw to the plate. And slide, he is safe. Great read by Adam Rosales, breaking from second. He was going all the way, and the head first slide got him in front of the throw. And John Gibbons immediately out to the home plate area to talk to James Hoy, who made that call.
Well, the sacrifice bunt by Odor really set this up. Robertson got the ball in the air his first time up, and Wash wanted him at the plate at least to put the ball in play, at least get 1 run, and hopefully get a base hit here and make it 2 runs possibly. And it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen here. So 2 RBI single for Robertson. Gets a pitch up in the zone and takes it the other way.
And Daniel Robertson deciding not to try to advance on that throw going to the plate. He stays at first, but it's now a 3-2 Blue Jay lead. Still just 1 out. And Elvis up there takes strike 1. Robertson with his 7th and 8th RBI of the year. Andrus, a fly ball to right in the first inning. Going the other way, off the glove of Johnson, backed up by Kawasaki, but nobody's there. Kawasaki had the ball in plenty of time, and Johnson started to retreat to the bag, decided better of it as Burley was coming over, and Burley had not gotten there in time.
It's a tough play once it goes off of Johnson's glove. Kawasaki backing him up. Johnson didn't know where the ball was and didn't realize that Kawasaki had it. And with Elvis's speed beating Burley over, Burley threw the pitch, hit to the right side. He jumped off the mound, but that was just one of those plays where nobody could get back.
And Adrian Beltre up there takes strike 1.
See Johnson come off and then got that wicked hop off the backhand of the glove. Kawasaki right there to grab it.
Ooh, and Beltre had a pitch to work with and fouled it straight back.
You know when Beltre when he realizes he missed a pitch and he's not happy about it, he'll turn that bat around and almost knock his foot off.
Yeah. 0-2. Got him swinging. Well, Burley with his 2nd strikeout of the afternoon. That's a fairly big one to get rid of Beltre. 2 gone now. Chris Jimenez coming up.
Burley with a little cutter there, backdoor cutter. Gets Beltre out in front of it just a little bit.
No, 2 gone. Chris Jimenez drew a walk in the 2nd inning. Takes a breaking ball that bends over the outside corner for strike 1. He's up there with Robertson at 2nd. Andrus at 1st. A couple of runs across here in the Ranger 3rd inning. A 3-2 Toronto lead. High and tight, and back bending out of the way is Chris Jimenez. That ground ball, by the way, Elvis Andrus has scored an error on Dan Johnson, the first baseman.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough.
A ball and 2 strikes now. Well, Burley trying to work around a couple of hits, a walk, and an error. Left-hander okays the sign, sets at the belt. We'll try the 1-2 again.
Burley's been giving the Rangers some pretty good pitches to hit. Leave them out over the middle of the plate. Rangers have missed a few of them.
Robertson, Andrus looking for a chance to run. Got him swinging. Well, after the Rangers able to plate a couple, Burley comes back with back-to-back strikeouts. 2 runs on 2 hits, an error, and 2 men are left after 2.5. 3-2 Blue Jays. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. A beautiful shot of the skyline of Toronto from Lake Ontario. Bottom of the third inning, Melky Cabrera leading off against Nick Tepesch. And Cabrera takes ball one. Cabrera a pop out to short back in the first inning. Tepesch to the line, then comes back to the plate. And Cabrera rolls over on one and a little two-hopper out to Odor. One gone for Jose Bautista.
Tepesch bounces back, gets that leadoff hitter out. It's a big step in putting up a goose egg after his team just scored a couple of runs for him.
Nick, thanks to the line drive double play, able to limit the damage to 3 in that second inning. And Bautista takes low and outside for ball one. Bautista popped out to second back in the first. Blue Jays 3 runs on 5 hits. And the Rangers 2 runs on 2 hits. Blue Jays committed the only error of the ball game. Tepesch, the 25-year-old out of the University of Missouri at Columbia. And Blue Springs, Missouri, a hometown of Tepesch. 2-1 to Bautista. Nick's next pitch. Now 3-1. Well, Bautista with 1 out trying to get aboard here in the third inning. Leonardo Navarro, who launched a leadoff home run last inning, waits in the on-deck circle. And ball 4. Matt told you yesterday about Bautista's willingness to take the walk. I think a good example there. He had a couple of opportunities to swing the bat and took the walk instead with 1 out to get aboard. They're the walk leaders in the American League. Bautista now with the 65th walk is at first base. Carlos Santana of the Tribe still leading things with 66. Now here's Navarro, who launched a long home run to right field his first time up. Tepesch comes back with that fastball for strike 1. Navarro now 6 home runs, 39 runs driven in. Blue Jays coming into play today, the 6th best team average offensively at 258. They are 5th in the American League in scoring with 436 runs scored. Navarro shoots it out of play to the left. The count evens and a ball and a strike. Make that 0-2.
They've got a very potent offense. You've got guys like Joey Bats, Encarnacion, who's on the DL, Lind, who's also on the DL, Reyes at the top of that order that sets the table for everybody. They've got some guys who can swing the bat and drive in runs.
The 0-2 pitch. Yeah, it seems like when they have everybody healthy, and we're talking about Encarnacion, Lind, and Brett Lowry, they have guys that can do a little bit of everything. Reyes, a very good base runner at the top of the order, a lot of extra base hits, and you got Cabrera, who's just a good solid hitter. Bautista and Encarnacion with great power and pretty good averages. So that's not really a one-dimensional club by any means.
No, it's not. They can do a lot of things with it. They can hit and run. They can hit for average. They can walk, as you see Bautista with 65 being second in the league. Reyes, base stealer, but can hit the ball from both sides of the plate. A very electric player. They've got a very nice, balanced offense.
Tepesch making Bautista think a little bit over first base. Bautista only with 4 stolen bases this year in 5 attempts. But in a 1-run game, you don't want to give him any ideas of having an unchecked lead. That's pulled well foul down the right side, back into the seats. Still 0-2. And Nick Tepesch up just over the 50 pitch mark now. 52 pitches, 34 of them for strikes thus far. That's about a 65% rate. Going the other way and slicing down the left field line, a fair ball, and hops into the stands for a ground rule double. That's going to be second and third, and that might have saved the Rangers a run right there. Bautista running on the play, running once he saw the ball leave the bat. He might have been able to score had that ball stayed in the field of play.
Yeah, I think the third base coach, Luis Rivera, was probably going to send him on that play. See, Nick Tepesch throws a tailing fastball to Navarro just off the plate. Navarro just sticks his bat out there, drills it down the left field line for a double, his second hit of the ball game.
Well, second and third again. We have this going last inning, and we're able to capitalize. Colby Rasmus with the infield pulled all the way in, goes after that first pitch and fouls it back.
I don't think he used that glove. You see Luis Rivera coming in and getting in position, but sees that ball going to the stand. So
0-1 to Rasmus, who was out on a very nice play. The Ranger first baseman Chris Jimenez, first time up. That slow breaking ball. It's 0-2 to Rasmus. 13 home runs, just 28 driven in for the Blue Jays center fielder. You got Bautista at third, Deanna Navarro out at second. See Elvis Andrus almost directly up the middle in the overshift. 1-2.
You know, when the infield is in, you want to look and see a lot of times if that runner at third base is going to be going on contact or if he's going to let the ball go through. And right now, Bautista looks as though he's going on contact.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Saw that defensive alignment too, that Odor was closer to first than he is to second. It's only about 35, maybe 40 feet off the first base foul line. So he and Jimenez are cutting that hole down as best they can.
You know, even though the infield is in on turf, you can give yourself a couple of extra steps backwards because the ball is going to get to you faster on turf than it is on regular grass.
2-2 pitch. Up the middle, off the end of the bat, over center field, a base hit. Bautista scores. They put up the stop sign for Navarro. He's held to third, but Rasmus just rolling one through the shift for the RBI single. It's a 4-2 Toronto lead.
Tepesch throws a fastball away to Rasmus, and Rasmus breaks his bat, but sneaks it right through Elvis and Odor up the middle for an RBI single. Navarro had to hold up at third. Just put it right there where they're not.
Yeah, exactly. And on turf, that gets magnified too, doesn't it, Matt?
It really does. There's not a whole lot of either one of them could have done about that. And even if they're back, that ball was hit in such a perfect spot that even if Odor is back, he doesn't make that play because he's over in the hole against Rasmus.
Well, the Rangers able to put 2 on the board in the top of the third, and the Blue Jays have come right back. And they have regained a 2-run lead. It's now 4-2 Toronto. Still just 1 out. Runners at first and third. Dan Johnson, who doubled his first time up, stands at the box. Deanna Navarro at third base. Rasmus at first. And the pitch is a called strike on the inside corner. Blue Jays now able to get to Tepesch for 7 hits so far in just 2 1/3 innings. They've capitalized on a walk that Tepesch issued to Bautista with 1 out. That was the first runner of this inning. Then the double going the other way by Navarro. And Colby Rasmus base hit, plating Bautista. Runners in scoring position this year, the Blue Jays a .245 team average. popped him up. Adam Rosales, the third baseman, makes the grab, and a good pitch by Tepesh. Boy, he got inside on Dan Johnson, got the little pop-up. That is out number 2, and it brings up Steve Tollison. Johnson not able to get the runner home. Now with 2 out, the Ranger infield goes back to normal depth. Tollison was hit on a 2-2 pitch his first time up. He got a fastball right in his left shoulder. Came around to score on the 2-run single by Jose Reyes. 1 ball, no strikes. Nick Tepesh now 61 pitches, and he's still trying to get himself out of the 3rd inning. Tepesh bends in and takes the sign. Rasmus, pretty good speed at first, not much of a base stealer though. He's not inclined to use that speed. Pretty good going from 1st to 3rd. He only has 1 stolen base this year. Pulled foul by Tollison, and the count is now 1-1. Toronto police officer down there skipping rope to get out of the way of that foul ball. Tepesh nods in agreement. A high set, the 1-1 pitch. Ranger defense just about straight away. Odor and Andrus maybe a step to the left side. Rasmus the lead from first, and Tepesh will drive him back with a toss. Deanna Navarro at 3rd base. He had the opposite field double. Set up the run scoring Colby Rasmus single. Now 3-1. Nick Tepesh looks like he's trying to be a little too careful with Steve Tollison. Tollison hitting that number 8 slot. Now the 3-1. In the hole and cut off by Rosales, who goes the short way for the force, and that will do it. But the Blue Jays score another run on a couple of hits. They strand 2. After 3, Toronto 4 and Texas 2 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Smolinski coming up to bat for the Rangers. He's still trying to forge an identity as a big league player, both at the plate and in the field.
It's just how I play the game. It's how I've always played. Just kind of 100% all out. And it's a good thing and a bad thing that now I've had some injuries in the minor leagues because of it. But that's just how I play. It's nothing I can change. It's just the way it is.
And consequently, he's already drawn some comparisons to Rusty Greer. He's all out in the field. We've seen some of those great diving catches that he made during the homestand just before the All-Star break, guys.
All right, John, thank you. Would probably be well served not to try a diving catch here on this turf unless he just has to.
No, unless you have to, unless the game is on the line,
Yeah.
you don't particularly want to do that, because if it gets by you, depending on who hits it, they could run all day.
Yeah, and you also come up with all kinds of rug burns.
That's not good.
That's not
That's not good.
All over your body.
Although this turf is much better than the old turf that we both had an opportunity to play on. That would really leave some body parts on the turf.
Yeah. Pitch outside, and Jake now has run the count full. So Smolinski trying to get aboard to start the Ranger fourth. He'll be followed by Giovanni Soto. Rangers trailing 4-2 to Mark Burley. Left-hander comes back and misses ball 4. Really kind of a long look in to home plate umpire James Hoy, but Smolinski draws the leadoff walk. Now Soto coming up.
Good at bat by Smolinski. Got a couple of close pitches, took them, ended up with a walk.
That's the third walk already given up by Mark Burley, which highly unusual for the veteran left-hander. Giovanni Soto takes a strike. Although this year Burley's had a couple of games where he just hadn't had command of the strike zone. Walked 5. They have been widely spread out, but it has happened on occasion. 1-1 to Soto. Giovanni called out on strikes his first time up there. 0 for 5 in his first couple of games back. Now 2-1.
Very uncharacteristic of Burley to walk as many guys, especially this early in the ball game. 3 walks so far, and like you said, 5 in his last outing.
Popped up down the right side. That is going to twist back into the seats about 3 rows. Over to take a look. Anthony goes, but it's out of reach. 2-2. Mark Burley, 25 balls, 36 strikes. That for him is not a real good ratio. He normally is right up there, 70% plus strikes during a normal outing. And Soto gone on strikes as Burley pulled the string. Third strikeout for Burley. Second time he has gotten Soto. Take a look at the Ford leaderboard for you. Active career wins leaders. Tim Hudson of the Giants at 213. Then it's CC Sabathia and Bartolo Colon just ahead of Mark Burley. Burley approaching the 200 career win level. Deals a strike to Leonis Martin, who singled, leading off the Ranger third inning. Smolinski at first, a modest lead. Swing and a miss by Martin. 0-2 now.
Well, Leonis gets a changeup from Burley. I'm sure it was looking like a fastball, and all of a sudden, change speeds on him.
Tried it again, couldn't get Leonis to offer.
Burley does a good job, especially against left-handers, of hiding the ball as long as he possibly can. And that makes it extremely difficult for left-hand hitters.
The other way, and Martin has his second hit. Checking in at second is Smolinski. So Leonis Martin, and he has had no problem against Mark Burley in his career. He's now 4 out of 6. And Burley again in hot water.
Got this pitch up in the zone. Little cutter off to the outside part of the plate. And Leonis takes it the other way, stays with it, doesn't try to pull it, doesn't try to do too much with it.
Well, the Rangers now with 3 hits. Martin with 2 of them against Mark Burley. First and second for Adam Rosales, and a towering drive hit to left field, but it's hooking well foul and back into the second deck. Rosales going up there looking for something to jump on, and he did, didn't he?
Jumped on that heater, 83 miles an hour, and was still out ahead of it.
0-1 the count. That's off the end of the bat and hit it out to Melky Cabrera. Out number 2, back to second goes Smolinski. The first is Leonis Martin, and it'll bring up Rougned Odor. Well, Burley has so many ways to combat you, even when he doesn't have good command today, like he normally does. There's subtle changes of speed, changes of movement, changes of location. The art of pitching developed to a pretty high degree.
I'd have to say he probably qualifies as one of those crafty left-handers.
Crafty veteran left-hander, yep. Odor laid down a sacrifice bunt when he had runners at first and second with nobody out last time. He hits it hard on one hop, though, right at Kawasaki, the second baseman, and that'll do it. Rangers look like they had something going, a walk and a single, but they strand 2. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Blue Jays 4, Rangers 2. Kids every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. It's on right here at Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. Young man out there making some memories with Dad. Beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Toronto. A 4-2 Blue Jays lead. They come to bat here in the 4th inning. And it's the number 9 hitter, Anthony Gose, leading things off. He had a base hit to left. First time up. Hits one high in the air, but that will twist out a play down the left side. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. Blue Jays 4 runs on 7 hits. The Rangers 2 runs on 3 hits. Each ball club has stranded 4. Nick Tepesch trying to put up a goose egg for the first time since the first inning. 2-1 now. Back to the plate is Tepesch. Ripped to right, but right at Robertson. Looks like it might have been a little bit of a knuckleball, and Daniel stayed with it. That is a hard out number 1 off the bat of Gose.
Tepesch again gets that lead runner off or out to start that inning. Bill's got a fastball down and then turned on it, but hit it right. Our right fielder.
Had a guy there for 140 years.
He hadn't figured that one out yet.
Here's Jose Reyes. Takes strike one. Reyes had the big 2-run single in the second inning for the Blue Jays. Now has 30 RBI for the year. Going the other way, and it's off the end of the bat and foul. And it's squirted down the left side. 0-2. Reyes, the switch hitter. Well, watching him hit it, got such great hands like that.
Nice, quick hands.
Yeah.
It's tough to get in on him when you try and come in on a pitch like that with 2 strikes. He's got the ability to punch it away, foul it off, and get another pitch.
Probably helps him watch the ball a lot longer too, doesn't it, Mac? Having
It
hands
really
like
does.
that.
It does. You can let the ball get deeper, and as you can see where he's at in the box, he's about as deep as you can get, if you want to call it still being in the box. But he gets about as deep as you possibly can get and lets the ball travel. The longer the ball travels, the better you get to see it, or hopefully the better you see it.
He's fouled off a couple on 0-2, and Tepesh trying to figure out something different. Up the middle, Odor to the backhand on the run. Rupnet on the money. 2 gone. Start to see Odor make that play almost effortlessly. He doesn't try to stop and throw. He just throws across his body like that.
No, he can do it very well going and throwing the ball across his body. And with Reyes running, you really don't want to try and take your time to slow down and plant. You've got to get the ball and get rid of it quickly because he can get down that line with the best of them. But Odor makes this look very routine, and that is not a routine play.
You've got to have some arm strength to do that, don't you?
You've got to have some arm strength, some accuracy, knowing where you are on the field, knowing who's running. There are a lot of things that go into making that play. And Ruby's made that play a bunch of times already and made it look very easy.
No, 2 outs, base is empty. Munenori Kawasaki, who is 1 for 2 today, steps in. It's the first time this afternoon that Tepesh has gotten the first 2 outs of an inning without anybody reaching base, and now he and Giovanni Soto are going to talk things over briefly.
I think he's actually picked up his pace here a little bit. Getting the ball, getting up on the mound, getting the sign, and throwing it, and continuing that. And I think a lot of pitchers work better when that pace is just, a little bit quicker as opposed to slower.
Right. Yeah, at the top end of your comfort level, I think, is at the quick end of your comfort level. Probably a good place to work most of the time. Of course, it helps when you're getting some results, too, that you like.
Yeah, it does.
And Tepesh this inning has gotten some pretty good results. A line drive to right and a ground ball to second. He's got 2 outs. Kawasaki with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll try that again. Another nice crowd on hand here this afternoon. They've had a good series crowd-wise, 36,000 and 43,000 last night, or 46,000, excuse me, last night. Blue Jays averaging just under 28,000 a game for the season. Another 1-2 pitch, and that's slapped the other way, and it's just foul. Kawasaki trying to go from line to line, and has missed both times. Ranger outfield plays Kawasaki way around to the left. Daniel Robertson, the right fielder, is way over in right center. If Kawasaki were to pull one, he could run forever. Not there, though. You got a first baseman there as Jimenez takes the hop and onto the bag. And for the first time this afternoon, Nick Tepesh and the Rangers send the Blue Jays down in order. We're going to the 5th, 4-2 Toronto. this afternoon. Then it's on to the Big Apple and the Bronx of New York. And tomorrow it'll be Michaelis and Green to start that 4-game series with the Yankees. Night games through Wednesday and then Thursday afternoon before returning home. We got Oakland for 3 over the weekend, and the Yankees come in for 3 to end the month of August. And the long road trip starting off the month of August for the Rangers. Mark Burley going to work here in the top of the 5th, and it's the top of the Ranger order. Daniel Robertson, Elvis Andrus, Adrian Beltre to follow. Robertson 1 out of 2 this afternoon, had a 2-run single, looped one into right field in the 3rd inning. Drove in runs numbers 7 and 8 for the season. Burley, that was a knee-high strike. 1-1 now. Dan, you can see that average on the move upward, 264. Tries a bunt, pops it up. Navarro will make the catch. And Robertson trying to push a bunt. It looked like out towards second. And popped it up in an area where Navarro could handle it. The fans meet the Rangers catcher Robinson Chirinos on July 30th at the Dallas location on East Northwest Highway. Don't miss this chance to win great prizes and meet one of your favorite Rangers at Whataburger. And there is Robinson. Come on out and meet him at that on the 30th of July. Interesting guy to talk to. A lot of experiences, and a guy that's seen both ends of the spectrum as far as things going well in baseball. Into the corner off the bat of Elvis. He's going to have a double as Cabrera plays to carry him, and Andrus in standing with a 1-out double here in the Ranger 5th inning. 23rd two-bagger of the year for the Ranger shortstop.
Well, Elvis gets up there and gets that cutter. Caught too much of the plate and drills it down the left field line for a double. Now, got the heart of the order coming up.
Adrian Beltre has flied to right and struck out against Burley. I would be extremely surprised if Adrian Beltre saw anything to hit here with first base open and 1 out. A 2-run game, and no disrespect meant to Chris Jimenez, the next hitter.
An unintentional walk?
Well, if it comes to that, unless Adrian wants to really expand his strike zone, like about 1.5 feet outside. 2-0 Burley. A check of second. And Beltre got one right down the middle and popped it up. Goes in right, makes the catch. Elvis tagging. He is going to third. Here comes a throw, a strong throw by Ghost. But Elvis in under as Tollison had to back up to take the throw, but that's out number 2. That pitch might have surprised Adrian.
I think it did. I really don't think he was looking for anything to hit. I think especially after that last pitch,
yeah,
the 1-0 pitch was in the other batter's box. He wasn't thinking that Burley was going to give him anything to hit, and all of a sudden, here's one down the middle.
Now Elvis advancing to third. He's there with 2 outs. Here's Chris Jimenez, who has walked and struck out. And he hits one right off the end of the bat, a cue shot foul. It is 0-1. Jimenez walked leading off the second, but then was caught on what apparently was a hit and run. Got caught taken off a little too quickly. Chris struck out his last time up in the 3rd. And he hits this one off the end of the bat. Johnson goes to a knee, the off-balance throw. Burley there, and did he get him? Yes, he did. Awkward-looking play on both ends by Dan Johnson and Mark Burley, but they get the out, and the Rangers are gone in the 5th. A 1-out double, no advantage. They strand a runner, 4-2, Toronto. tickets for just $75 on Sunday, July 27th. You watch the Rangers take on the Oakland A's in the ballpark's most modern party suite. Your ticket comes with a 2-hour all-you-can-eat buffet, and you can get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Melky Cabrera starting off the Toronto fifth inning, a 4-2 Toronto lead. Cabrera takes a strike. It is 1-1. Cabrera has popped out and grounded out. Tepesh back to the plate. Late swing and a miss. 1-2. Just outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nick Tepesh into the wind. The right-hander deals. Cabrera kind of walking around after that one. Felt he had a pitch in a spot that he could drive and didn't get it done.
Now, as a pitcher, Buzz, do you see that reaction of the hitter?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Base hit for Cabrera to open up the end. Well, he missed the one that he wanted and hit a not too bad a pitch that time, but he got it right in the right spot. Up the middle for a leadoff single.
Tepesh gives Cabrera a high fastball right down the middle, and Cabrera takes it right back up the box. Right over Tepesh's head.
Ranger fans out here today, we want to say hello to the Bunyard family, Teresa, Jacob, and Jack. They're from Arkansas, big Ranger fans. Matter of fact, their radio stations also carry the Rangers in Arkansas. They are here in town enjoying the stop at their 29th different major league facility. They are on a quest to visit all 30 of them, and they will later on this year go to Target Field. The last one. As a family, they decided to set that goal, and they're going to get it completed.
That's pretty impressive. Those are fans of the game for you right there, all 30 ball clubs.
They are. I'm glad to have the Bunyards up here, Teresa, Jacob, and Jack. And thanks very much for following the Rangers and helping the Rangers out along the way. Batista 0 for 1 with a walk today. He's also popped out to second. He has Cabrera at first. Leadoff single put him aboard. The Blue Jays now with 8 hits against Nick Tepesh, who's about ready to throw his 89th pitch of the afternoon. And that pitch fouled away to the right. 0-2 the count. Batista, well, over the years, he made a complete metamorphosis as a hitter coming to the Blue Jays. Fouls that pitch off. Came over here in the end of the 2008 season. He'd come over from Pittsburgh. With the Pirates, he'd hit a total of 12 home runs in 107 games. And now we're going to have a visit to the mound. Tepesh incurring a visit by Kevin Harmon and Mike Maddox. Didn't like something they just saw from the big right-hander. Tepesh trying to dispel any concern. Ron Washington out there also asking the question, are you okay? And Tepesh just kind of brushed it aside. Said, yeah, I'm fine. See that left foot, the landing foot, not in a solid place once he tried to get his body out over it. So it kind of made him stumble, get off balance just a bit.
Yeah, that could be pretty bad. Looks like he tried to plant and that foot just kept sliding a little bit.
Sometimes when you land on your heel as opposed to landing on the ball of your foot, you don't get it in exactly the same spot, and then you're off balance as you put the front part of the foot down. Get a little loop on to right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Robertson over quickly. Batista going for 2. Cabrera over to third. And with nobody out, the Blue Jays have runners at second and third after the Batista double. Jose Bautista just reaching out and wafting a little soft fly for his 17th double of the year.
This is what makes Bautista such a good hitter. He's not just a power hitter. He hits the ball to all fields. Got a pitch from Tepes down and away and just poked it into right field with, the right side being open. Jimenez holding on the runner at first base. And Odor playing up the middle. Bautista gets a pitch and just pokes it into right field. Now the Jays have runners at second and third with nobody out.
And Mike Maddox out. The last visit that Mike made was not charged as a visit because of the possible injury to Tepes. This is an official visit to the mound. Well, this is the last one that can be made in this inning with Tepes on the mound without changing pitchers. But no doubt he is in a spot here. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Deanna Navarro, the switch hitting catcher, is up there. Navarro's had a big afternoon, a double and a solo home run. Rangers with nobody out, forced to pull the infield all the way in. See Elvis shading up the middle, and Odor about midway between first and second. Navarro trying to hit it over the shift that time. 0-1 the count. Been pretty successful this year. Almost 70% of the time Navarro has been able to get that runner in from third with less than 2 outs. Tepes sets at the letters. Pulled foul outside first. Now Nick with the 0-2 advantage. Now you put yourself in a position where you can try and go for the strikeout. That's what you're looking for here once you get to this position.
Yeah, this is exactly what he needs in this situation, a strikeout. You don't want to let Navarro put the ball in play.
Shallow center field. Cabrera is not tagging. The catch is made. The throw is accurate by Leonis Martin. And that is a big out, number 1. Well, a strikeout or a pop-up. And that basically was a pop-up to center.
A short pop-up.
Short pop.
We'll take that one.
1 gone. And Colby Rasmus coming up. Let's take time here for a Mazda game break. Once again, here's Rick Renner. All right, Rick, thank you. Now the Blue Jays leading here in Toronto by a 4-2 count, and Nick Tepes trying to keep it right there. Colby Rasmus is the hitter, 1 for 2 with an RBI single. And Tepes gets that breaking ball right in under the hands of Rasmus for strike 1. Colby rolled a single through the drawn-in infield last time up. Got the RBI, his 29th of the year. Similar Ranger defense this time with runners at second and third. Elvis almost directly up the middle again. Is right in front of the lead of Jose Bautista. Tepes still working from the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. Falling behind Rasmus. You still have first base open, so even though you have another left-handed hitter in Dan Johnson coming up next, I think you'd be more than a little careful with Rasmus. And he's keeping the ball right inside on him. 3 balls and a strike.
I like it. If he's going to miss in off the plate. Don't miss in out over the plate, because if you do, Rasmus can do some damage with it. Like you said, there's a left-hander on deck. Putting Rasmus at first base, you create the double play. Dan Johnson doesn't run very well, so that makes it even better.
And there's ball 4. No harm done with that walk. Bases are loaded. But with 1 out, Dan Johnson, who is 1 for 2, will come up. And Ron Washington on his way out to the mound. So with 99 pitches under his belt, Nick Tepes is going to be finished for the afternoon. He goes 4 1/3 on the short end of a 4-2 score at the moment. Blue Jays threatening here in the 5th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out. And that's going to do it for Nick Tepes. So Sean Tollison, the right-hander, summoned from the bullpen as he makes his way in. We will take a timeout. We're back to Rogers Center in Toronto right after this. The 15th of August, the Angels are in town. You'll be treated to a post-game fireworks show set to Elvis music. $15 tickets in the upper reserve seating sections are available. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials and use the coupon code fireworks. Nick Tepes finished after 4 1/3 this afternoon. 9 hits, 4 runs thus far. He has baggage on the base paths, his responsibility. 2 walks and no strikeouts. And Sean Tollison on the hill.
Sean Tollison's numbers, his 41st game with a 2-1 record. ERA just under 3.5, 46 2/3 innings. He's done pretty good over his last 27 games. Posted a 2.73 ERA in that time frame.
So Tollison inherits Milky Cabrera at third base, Jose Bautista the runner at second, and Colby Rasmus at first. 1 gone. Rangers looking for that double play ground ball, preferably at either Elvis or Rougned Odor. And the first pitch to Dan Johnson is down and in for ball 1. Johnson 1 for 2, a second inning double. It's also popped out. 3 career grand slams for the well-traveled backup first baseman. Tollison a high set, the 1-0 pitch. That is a little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes. Tollison in an effort to keep the ball down, get that grounder, falling behind Dan Johnson.
Yeah, this is a tough guy to be behind. He's got some sock in that bat, so Tollison's got to be careful.
Popped up. Rosales coming over, and the ball hits a guy wire that's holding the screen up. Goes back into the seats. Don't think Adam was going to be able to get there in time, but it would have been interesting had that ball not hit the wire.
It would have been interesting if that ball had hit the wire and come back into come back into play. That would have been nice.
That's when you know things are going right for you. Do that. 2-1 the count. And a strike called on the inside corner. Tollison at 94 miles an hour, able to paint right at the knees.
Now that's a nice pitch. Dan Johnson's a pull hitter. But Tolly kind of reached back a little bit and brought out that 94. Not much Johnson can do with that one.
The 2-2 pitch. That'll run the count full. Tollison with nowhere to put Johnson. Got the bases full of Blue Jays, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Tollison okays the sign. The payoff pitch. Pulled foul. We'll come back and do it again. John Tollison, the Allen, Texas native. 26-year-old. The Rangers claimed on a waiver deal from the Dodgers in the offseason. As Mac told you, he has been become an increasingly important part of the Ranger bullpen going forward. Another 3-2 in the air to right field. This should be deep enough to score Cabrera. Daniel Robertson makes the catch. The throw comes into second. Cabrera down the line will score from third on the sacrifice fly. And Dan Johnson gets his third RBI of the year. He increases the Blue Jay lead to 5-2. Jose Bautista also tagged and ran from second to third.
Tollison tried to go inside and jam Johnson a little bit, but I think after that first fastball he threw him, Johnson pretty much had engaged. Which was in a good spot, but Johnson got it deep enough to right field to score Cabrera from third.
No runners at the corners now. A run across. 5-2 the score, and with 2 outs, Steve Tollison, who is 0 for 1, steps in. A little quick throw to drive Colby Rasmus back to first. John Tollison working to Steve Tollison. And no, they are not related. Strike one. At least as far as I know, they're not. I don't think they are. Steve Tollison, of course, the son of former Ranger infielder Wayne Tollison. Ranger fans go back to the early and mid 80s. Wayne Tollison, a fixture of Ranger ball clubs. Sean Tollison with the 0-1 pitch. Rasmus, a late break from first base. He is going to retreat, though, after the foul ball. That might have been a case of the Blue Jays trying to steal a run from the Rangers with that kind of a late break from Rasmus.
That's exactly what it is. Rasmus doesn't even have a foot on the carpet, so he doesn't have a base stealing lead. Then a late jump, and wasn't really running that hard. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He's going to get out there and probably try and stop halfway.
0-2 the count. And they're just going to let him go this time. Breaking ball was wide, and Rasmus would just trot into second with a stolen base. Soto and the Rangers, though, not taking a chance on throwing through. Bautista had a huge lead, a huge secondary lead coming down the line. Tollison, the high set, and called strike three. Oh, he painted the outside corner, got the strikeout of Steve Tollison. And the Blue Jay fifth has come to an end. They score a run on a couple of hits and strand two after 5 complete. It's now the Blue Jays 5 and the Rangers 2. To you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $500 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Today, the Rangers are hitting for Sandria Lee from Denton. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Sandria Lee from Denton will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Beautiful overhead shot of downtown Toronto, the CN Tower, as Mark Burley goes to work in the sixth inning with his club leading 5-2. Jake Smolinski, who drew a walk his last time up, leads things off and takes a strike to even the count at 1-1. Smolinski, along with a walk, is flied to center, so 0 for 1 today. Average at 367. Burley misses high and away. Burley back to the plate. Off-speed pitch right on the inside corner. One of the few guys you see throw a changeup inside the hitters. It just completely freezes them. Or if they do hit it, they pull it well foul.
Very foul. You've got to look out for the cutter that he's got as well. And then the changeup that's down and away that fades away from him.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Again, the crafty left-hander. That's why he's crafty and why he's a veteran.
Another 2-2 to Smolinski. Call strike 3. Threw 3 different speeds of pitches right in the same spot.
Wow. Might have got the benefit of the doubt there, being the veteran out there against Smolinski.
4 strikeouts and swinging on the first pitch. Giovanni Soto has his first hit of the year as he loops one into right center for a 1-out single. There you go, Gio.
That's going to be a fine for Gio as well.
Wait until July to get your first hit?
Yes.
Oh.
You know it.
Sure. I understand.
In late for the season.
Yep.
Get your first hit in July. Yeah. And there's going to be the Canadian tax attached to that as well.
Look at Martin pulling that pitch foul. What was that? The GST tax? Is that what it was? GST tax? Goods and services or something like that. Used to have a bunch of them. What I remember. HST tax, we understand. And there was the PST plus the GST.
Wow.
There you go. Too many STs. 0-2 pitch. Up the middle, softly hit. Kawasaki off balance, not until he did get him. And Leonis Martin immediately signaling to Ron Washington, hey, come on out here and challenge this thing. I was safe.
Yeah, I think he's got to play on that one. I think he's right. I think he ended up beating that out.
Well, Leonis already with 2 hits under his belt, once a third, and I don't blame him.
Well, I think Burley kind of did himself a disservice by putting that hand down and deflecting it a little bit.
Ron Washington out there talking with the first base umpire. That's Chris Conroy. And now they summon Bill Welke, the crew chief, over, and the challenge has been issued to the out call at first base. And Leonis Martin confidently staying right there, talking to Jay Stingler, the first base coach for the Rangers. So the headsets are donned. Bill Welke and Chris Conroy. They will be in headset to the replay command center in New York. And the folks here getting the look at the replay on the big screen. This shouldn't take long. Plainly visible the fact that Leonis Martin's foot was on the bag before the ball arrived. Well, the headset's now removed, and the call is overturned at first base as Bill Welke, the crew chief, signaling safe. And that call, that's the second call the Rangers have challenged in this series and had them overturned. So good job for the replay crew for Leonis Martin adding his 2 cents worth, going by the bag and immediately telling the skipper, hey, I was safe. No, back-to-back singles now, first and second. That took a grand total of 49 seconds to overturn that call. Adam Rosales fouls that first pitch back, strike one.
You know, I think instant replays pretty much saved a lot of ejections.
Yeah.
When you think about it, I mean, you know, in certain situations late in the ball game, you got a tight situation, and there's a call that somebody perceives as a blown call. Somebody's probably going to get tossed, but now all you got to do is say, hey, let's go to let me challenge it. Let's go to the replay.
Right. 0-1 to Rosales. Although I can remember a couple times now that managers have challenged the result of the replay and gotten immediately thrown out. They don't have that luxury anymore. So that kind of a situation, that's an automatic ejection, and you save the time that the argument would take. You don't have that anymore. Rosales, a line drive to left. Cabrera coming on and makes a catch, sprawling to the turf. Not quite enough sink on that line drive to get it down in front of Milky Cabrera.
Rosales tattoos this pitch from Burley and drives it into left field. And hit it on the screws. Didn't have a whole lot of sink to it. And that's the reason Cabrera was able to stay up under it and make a nice diving play coming in. A lot of times when you hit a ball like that, it's got some topspin on it, and you'll get that sink. And then that outfielder makes that commitment and says, oh, I'm already committed. I've got to go. And that ball will bounce, and especially on this turf, if that ball goes all the way to the wall, there's a couple of runs.
Odor, first ball swinging, is popped up. Over to take a look, Navarro. He goes to a slide so he doesn't run over that screen. And it hops over the top of the Blue Jay dugout back into the crowd. 0-1, the count to Odor. Rugnet, a sacrifice bunt and a ground ball to second. 0 for 1 officially. Rangers with runners at first and second, trying to climb back into this game. They trail 5-2. Burley gets the sign and a check of the runners. Base hit to right field. Being stopped at third is Soto. And the throw from Gose comes all the way through, but Rugnet Odor with his first hit of the afternoon. The Rangers now have the bases loaded. And the tying runs aboard, the go-ahead run, coming to the plate in the person of Daniel Robertson. So 3 hits in the inning. Unfortunately, this one just hit too hard for Soto to try to score.
Well, Burley leaves a pitch out and up over the middle of the plate. And Odor crushes it into right field for a single, but with Soto at second base, being on turf, the ball hit hard. Soto not being a fast runner, didn't really have a chance to score on that.
Well, the base is full. Rangers down by 3. Daniel Robertson had a 2-run single in the third inning. 1 for 3, and Burley's pitch is chopped foul. Daniel Robertson, no doubt about being aggressive, and the AT&T Universe Rewind showed you that base hit we were talking about. Daniel Robertson with runners at second and third looped one in, and Adam Rosales scoring from second as the back end of that 2-run single. And Burley now a balk, and that is going to score Soto from third. Everybody else advances 90 feet. Burley caught his spikes going forward and held on to the ball, did not make a pitch, and of course that's the balk. And you would have to say Burley is probably running on fumes right now, because that's a fatigue mistake.
That's what that's a sign of that, not being able to pick up that foot.
Yep, exactly. Foot comes down there, balance is just a little bit off. The legs aren't quite as strong as they were earlier in the game, and you get the buck. Up the middle, Kawasaki never saw it. It's into center field. 1 run is home. Here comes Odor. He scores. The Rangers have come all the way back. The ball game is tied as Robertson drives in his 3rd and 4th runs of the afternoon. It's 5-5.
Wow. Great at bat by Robertson. Gets a pitch, another pitch from Burley out over the middle of the plate. Drills it right back up the box. Right down the middle. Can't get any better than that. Robertson takes it right back up the box and ties this ball game up. Nice piece of hitting by Robertson. Not trying to do too much. Just staying within himself, doing what he can do, and doing what the pitcher's allowing him to do.
You know, it looked like Kawasaki got screened out by Milwaukee, the second base umpire. He did not react to that ball very quickly. And they got Robertson picked off. The tag is made, and that will do it. Daniel Robertson picked clean by Mark Burley. But not before he tied the ball game up. A 2-run single. The Rangers score 3 runs on 4 hits. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. It's now a 5-5 game. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event now playing at a Ford dealer near you. Well, the Rangers doing some middle inning work. Have come back to tie this ball game 5-5 as Sean Thomason goes to work here in the bottom of the 6th. He is facing the number 9 hitter, Anthony Gose. We'll go back to the top of the order with Reyes and Kawasaki. Gose 1 for 2, single to left field his first time up. Last time up, lined sharply to right. Tollison pulling the string and goes out in front. 0-2. Sean Tollison came on with the bases loaded in the 5th inning. Gave up a sacrifice fly, but that was it. Got the strikeout to end that 5th. Rangers came back immediately to score 3 runs against Mark Burley to tie the game. A ball and 2 strikes now. And since the Rangers came back to tie, Nick Tepesch off the hook. He will have a no decision here this afternoon. Ball 2 settles a little bit low. Goes a .237 hitter as he faces Tollison. Blue Jays 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. Rangers 5 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Got him swinging. Again, Tollison with that great changeup. That is out number 1, his second strikeout for Tollison.
Nice pitch by Tollison. Gose is a good fastball hitter. Goes with another changeup down in the zone, so if he does put the ball in play, he's not going to really be able to do any damage with it. A great pitch by Tollison to get that leadoff hitter at the inning.
Well, here's Jose Reyes now. Switch hitting shortstop. 1 for 3 today with a couple of runs driven home. It's that fastball and fouls it off to the left. It is 0-1. Reyes at .272. Now has 30 RBI to go along with those 7 home runs. That pitch a little bit low, I guess. Good look at the spread stance of Jose Reyes. Couldn't wait quite long enough. And it's 1-2.
And what he normally does is he's making an adjustment right now by going with that wide stance. That's not his typical stance. He's usually a little bit shorter, but he feels as though he needs to spread out a little bit to make some kind of adjustment.
And he chops one out toward Odor at second. That is out number 2. Now Kawasaki coming up. The roof now is beginning to close here. Apparently the nice afternoon is transforming itself into maybe some rain in the area. Now how about tomorrow's upcoming pitching matchup? Chevron would like to remind you that Shane Green going for the Yankees. He brings in a 2-0 mark with a 132, and Miles Michaelis will get his 4th start as a Ranger. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock from the Bronx, Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium, right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Munenori Kawasaki is 1 for 3 this afternoon. Had a single back in the 1st inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. Tollison's next pitch. Well, that is a devastating pitch today. He's got that changeup working.
He's keeping it down and away in that zone. It's a nice spot.
Good look at the huge mechanism that the roof sits on. The rails around the outside of the call. Strike 3. Kawasaki didn't think so, but the important man in the equation was James Hoy, the home plate umpire, and he did think so. And Tollison has a 1-2-3 6th inning. On to the 7th, deadlocked at 5. From behind, and they were able to catch up with 3 in the 6th inning. Daniel Robertson 2 for 4, the career high 4 RBI today in that leadoff spot for the Rangers. Blue Jays 8 different hitters with at least 1 hit. But everything is dead even as we head to the 7th inning, and Mark Burley is finished for the afternoon. He will have nothing to say in the outcome of this game. Todd Redmond, the 29-year-old, is on the hill.
And the numbers on Todd Redmond's 27th ball game with an 0-4 record. ERA is 2.5, so it's not really indicative of that 0-4 record. He's done a good job for this Blue Jays team. Only given up 3 earned runs over his last 12 appearances.
And Elvis Andrus is 1 for 3. Takes strike 1. Drop down sidearm a little bit further. Redmond misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Elvis a double in the 5th inning. That was his last at bat. He's also reached on an error today. It's this ball well to center, but moving to his left, Colby Rasmus. 1 gone. Next will be Adrian Beltre. Todd Redmond, a Florida native out of St. Petersburg. Originally drafted by the Pirates back in the 2004 draft. Spent some time with the Braves organization as well as in Cincinnati. Baltimore Orioles had him briefly, and the Jays had him on a waiver claim before last year. And Beltre skies out on the first pitch he sees from Redmond. That is out number 2. So Adrian 0 for 4. Now the base is empty for Chris Jimenez.
A long time since we've been able to say that. Beltre 0 for 4.
Yeah, it has been. Came in leading the American League today by fractions of a percentage point over Robinson Cano. Adrian will probably fall out of the lead, but not very far. Jimenez has a walk in 3 trips, 0 for 2 officially. He's also struck out and grounded out. And Redmond cross-firing him, misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Redmond last year, kind of a swing man. He had 14 starts and 17 appearances for the Blue Jays. Went 4 and 3. And a chopper foul that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And looking out to right field, Ranger bullpen, Neftali Feliz up and throwing. A 5-5 ball game. Base is empty. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. And Brett Cecil, the left-hander for the Blue Jays, throwing in left field. Another 2-2 pitch. We'll try it again. Line on Mark Burley, in case you folks are Mark Burley fans. 6 innings of work, 8 hits, 5 earned runs this afternoon, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Todd Redmond trying to work a 1-2-3 inning against the Rangers here in the 7th. This is just off the outer edge, and the count is full. So Jimenez trying to extend this 7th inning. If he gets aboard, Jake Smolinski, the Ranger left fielder, would get a shot at Redmond in this inning. Payoff pitch on the way. Ball 4. Second walk garnered by Chris Jimenez this afternoon. And Smolinski will indeed get an at-bat here in the 7th against Redmond.
Well, we see a lot of that. A pitcher will get 2 quick outs, and then he'll walk that 3rd batter. What's the reason for that?
Well, I think you lose focus. I think you say, well, things are going too well. I've got to get myself in trouble. You do lose concentration, lose focus. You lose your aggressiveness, is how I like to put it. And I can't tell you why that happens necessarily. Smolinski takes ball 1. Jake today has flied out, struck out, and walked. Jimenez, the runner at first, as Redmond checks him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Heard John Radigan talking with Jake Smolinski before the ball game today, and Jake talking about his personality, about how competitive he is. You can see that in his facial expression as he's up there. All business and really focusing.
I like that. Guys are going out there, especially these young guys that have the opportunity right now to show that they can play at the major league level.
2-1 the count. And ball 3 is outside. Redmond working himself into a little bit of a problem area. He's falling behind 3-1 to Jake Smolinski. If Smolinski walks or gets aboard, Giovanni Soto would have a shot. There's Gio. Singled his last time up. Towering pop fly, and that's in foul territory. It'll be back into the seats. The count is now full, and with 2 outs, Chris Jimenez will be off and moving with the next Todd Redmond offering. Redmond going to have to throw at least 17 pitches in this inning. Right-hander okays the sign. There goes Jimenez, the payoff pitch. Up the middle, but that's where Kawasaki is, the second baseman, behind the bag, and he throws out Jake Smolinski. Side retired, no runs, no hits, so Walker left stranded. After 6.5, it is a 5-5 ball game. Folks, today, USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad. $5% on family outings to Globe Life Park this year. You can do it with Coca-Cola family packs. They include 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Coke soft drinks, 2 Kids Zones wristbands, and 1 souvenir program. They're available for $68 in the upper reserve seating or $112 in lower reserve seating. Pictures at TexasRangers.com/specials, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Now we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Neftali Feliz has taken over on the mound for the Rangers.
This is Neffy's 6th game back. ERA of 2.35, 7 2/3 innings. He's only given up a couple of runs in his 5 outings. And this will be his 6th, giving up 1 home run. Opponents are only getting 167 off of him. That's just right-handed batters. Left-handers have yet to get a hit off of him.
Yeah, Feliz will have his work cut out for him. He's facing the middle of the order for the Blue Jays: Melky Cabrera, Jose Bautista, and Deonor Navarro. Cabrera, the switch-hitting left fielder, steps in. 1 for 3 today. He singled and scored his last time up. That was back in the 5th inning. And Phillies is high with the first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes, and you believe the radar gun here, 96 miles an hour. That's a good sign from Phillies.
I like that.
Next pitch, over at the knees. 1-1.
You know, it looks nice and free and easy, like, you know, his first couple of years. And I think that's one of the things they've been waiting to see again.
That ball is hammered to right field. Going back, Robertson at the wall. It is gone. Melky Cabrera turning around, and that Tommy Feliz fastball drives it out of here, and the Blue Jays have the lead at 6-5.
Pitch is supposed to be down and away, and then he left it out over the plate. Just a little bit on the inside part of the plate. And Cabrera doesn't miss it.
Now Bautista gets a breaking ball in the first pitch for strike 1. Bautista trying to go back to back. Fouled that pitch off. So Melky Cabrera with his 12th home run of the year. Now has driven in 46. The Blue Jays with a 1-run lead once again. 0-2 the count to Bautista. I guess we talk about it a lot, Mac, but it's no better job of pointing it up than or pointing it out than showing exactly what we're talking about. Location, location, right. Location, location.
That's where it all starts. It doesn't matter how hard you throw or what your stuff is. If you're not hitting your spots, major league hitters are going to take advantage of those mistakes that you're making. And you saw the pitch to Cabrera was supposed to be down and away. Missed it by about a foot in, a foot high, and that's all it takes.
And a chopper out to Elvis, who fires on to first. That is out number 1. Deanna Navarro coming up. Let's take time here for a Mazda game break with Rick Renner. Rick. All right, Rick, thank you. The base is empty, 1 out. Deanna Navarro had a home run back in the 2nd inning. That was off the Rangers starter Nick Tepesch. He's 2 for 3, also having contributed a double to the Blue Jays cause. So Navarro now hitting at .264 for the year with 39 RBI to go along with his 6 home runs. And Feliz gets the call on a belt high strike, maybe a little bit higher. 0-2 the count. Navarro, of course, the other catcher, is not going to say a whole lot to home plate umpire James Hoy about that. He doesn't want to take anything away from his pitcher out there.
I think the one thing he's going to say on that is, I want that one too.
There
That's
you go.
about it.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, you don't have to be nasty about it.
Nope.
Just remind him.
If you're going to give it to him, give it to me too.
Catchers walk that fine line. Shallow left field. Smolinski coming on. Ball hanging up for him a little bit. And Jake takes care of it. That's out number 2. And Colby Rasmus will be next. Well, Feliz following up the home run by getting a ground out and a weak fly ball.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's doing a good job coming back from that leadoff home run. Settling down, keeping his composure.
Rasmus 1 for 2 officially. He's been aboard a couple of times. Had an RBI single in the 3rd. Walked in the 5th. Other than that, he has been picked at first base by Chris Jimenez. 0-1. Ryan Fearabend Left-hander getting loose in the Ranger bullpen now. Oh, 0-1 to Rasmus. Phillies back to the plate. There's a knee-high strike. It is 0-2. Shadow of that closing roof now, just coming in front of second base, running across from the left field foul line to the right field foul line. Middle infielders in shade, the corner infielders in sun. 2-2. Fortunately, it's not bright sunshine that they're dealing with. It's kind of a muted shadow. In the dirt, and Rasmus did not offer. So the count is even to him.
Yeah, when you have that really, really deep contrast, it makes it difficult for a hitter to pick the ball up. And all of a sudden, it's you're seeing this gray sphere, and then all of a sudden you see it's bright, or you may not see it at all. So it's already difficult enough to hit that baseball without anything else.
As a hitter, would you rather have the pitcher in shadow or in sun, and you be in shadow?
Neither.
Neither. Which was it more difficult, picking up the ball coming out of the shadow to you, or was it more difficult when?
I'd say it would coming out of the shadow, because all of a sudden you probably can't pick it up. You probably can't pick it up out of the shadow in the first place, and then when all of a sudden you've got light on it, you've already got less than a second to decide what you're going to do with it, and then that just cuts down that time.
Right center field, Robertson into the alley, and Daniel reaches up to haul it in. That'll do it, but the leadoff Milky Cabrera home run against Neftali Feliz gives the Blue Jays the lead on to the 8th, 6-5 Toronto. And this one comes from Shonda. Look at Shonda and Jim Knox. Look, Knox shows up everywhere. That's great. Thank you, Shonda. We appreciate that. And if you folks would like to see if you can get your photo on our fan photo selection, just hashtag Southwest Fan Photo for your tweet. Thanks to the good folks at AT&T for making this a possibility for all of us. Appreciate your contributions. And here we are going to the top of the 8th inning. Giovanni Soto against Todd Redmond. Blue Jays now with a 1-run lead, and Soto had his first hit of the year last time up. He is 1 for 3 today. Drives this one to right center field. That is up the alley. It's going to the wall. Soto chugging for second, is in there standing with a leadoff double, and back come the Rangers. So Giovanni Soto back-to-back hits. This one a well-struck double to right center field.
Soto jumps on a fastball from Redmond right down the middle of the plate. Drives it into right center field. Stays with it. Takes it the other way. Doesn't try to pull it. Gets his second hit of the ball game. That gets the Rangers back in business.
And that's going to drive Todd Redmond from the game as John Gibbons out there to take the ball from the right-hander. He has made the call to the bullpen, and it looks like Brett Cecil has come on. We'll take a timeout. We're back to Toronto after this with the Blue Jays leading 6-5. Here in the 8th inning, a leadoff double, and that leads to the pitching change. Brett Cecil, the left-hander, has taken over on the hill.
This will be Brett Cecil's 39th game, an 0-3 record with 15 holds. That puts him second in the league, or tied for third in the league in holds. Opponents are hitting .263 off of him. He's got a pretty high ERA at home, 5.79.
Cecil working to Leonis Martin, who's around a bunt and bunts it foul. It is 0-1. Well, again, with a tough left-hander on the mound, and as Ron Washington did with Rougned Odor back in the 3rd inning, asking the left-handed swinging Leonis Martin in this case to lay down a sacrifice. And we'll see if he asks him to do it again with an 0-1 count. A little tougher to defend with the force play not in effect at third base. Again, Leonis around a bunt, and the bunt is again foul. It is 0-2. And Martin not able to get that bunt down. And sometimes, especially with Elvis Andrus, and a couple of times with Leonis Martin, Ron Washington has left the bunt on with 2 strikes.
Right, those are guys that have confidence in their bunting, and you know this is a situation in the ball game where you've got to execute. Everybody knows that you're bunting. You've got to execute, and this is that learning point or another teaching moment for Ron Washington.
And a chopper to the right side. That'll get the job done. Kawasaki throws out Leonis Martin on to third. Here's Giovanni Soto. So, okay, you didn't get the bunt down, but you got the job done any way possible.
That's all that matters. Get the job done. Get that runner over to third base with less than 2 outs. Give your team an opportunity to tie this ball game late in the game, especially and on the road as well. Great job by Martin. Didn't get the bunt down, but like I said, get the job done any way you can.
A 1 out. Now the Blue Jays pull their infield in with Adam Rosales at the plate. Rosales has walked and twice skied out to left field. Cecil's pitch to him. Didn't really want to do it. Rosales trying to be aggressive, and Adam couldn't check his swing. That pitch working its way down and into it. .263 the average for Rosales. Cecil back to the plate. 0-2.
Rosales being very aggressive. Cecil understanding what he's trying to do. Doesn't want to give Rosales anything up in the zone where he can hit a fly ball and get the sac fly and tie this ball game. So he's staying down in the zone. Hopefully he'll get a ground ball. That's what Cecil's looking for, and obviously Rosales is looking for the opposite.
Saw Giovanni Soto, the tying run at third base. 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Cecil with a huge strikeout of Rosales. That is the second out of the inning, and it will bring up Rougned Odor.
Cecil goes with the breaking ball, backdoor breaking ball to get Rosales out in front of it. Big strikeout for Cecil.
Well, the 28-year-old Brett Cecil trying to strand Giovanni Soto at third base, and Rougned Odor trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Odor 1 for 2 today. Makes that first pitch up and in for ball 1. And we have seen left-hander after left-hander try to get the ball in to Odor. It's like people have pretty much said that until he makes an adjustment, our left-handers especially are going to try to jam Rougned. Soto at third, the 1-0 pitch. In for a strike to even the count.
All right, and that's all about, teams finding out what a new player in the league can do. Can he hit this? Well, if he can hit that, we're going to give them something else. See if they can hit that. And the process begins of the hitter making an adjustment, the pitching staff's making an adjustment, and it just goes back and forth.
Now 2-1. Well, if you're Odor and you guys have started jamming you, left-handers have started jamming you, what adjustment do you make? Do you try and lay off that pitch, or do you try and get your hands through quicker, or what?
Well, I've got to determine, number one, if it's a fastball. If it's a fastball, if it's a strike or not. If they're coming inside for strikes, then yes, I've got to figure out a way to either inside out it or pull it, but to do something.
Kawasaki on to first, and that'll do it. So Cecil, yeoman's work. He gets 3 outs with Soto in scoring position. On to the bottom of the 8th. It's still a 6-5 Blue Jay lead. They thought they had a pretty good deal going on the top of the 8th inning, but Brett Cecil came on and got 3 outs and left Giovanni Soto stranded at third base. Well, Matt West on to pitch the bottom of the 8th. for the Rangers, taking over for Natali Feliz.
The numbers for Matt West. This will be his third game. No record, no ERA, 3 innings pitched. Just a walk. Opponents are getting 111 off of him. They've only got 1 hit. He's been doing a good job so far in his short stint here this time.
Matt West out of Houston area, Bel Air High School graduate. A converted position player for the Rangers, and he is looking to have a story rewritten about his major league career now. He was thinking, well, maybe I'll be an everyday player, and that took a sidetrack onto the hill. And he is out there now and looking to become part of the Ranger bullpen. Pitch chop foul by Dan Johnson. The count is even at a ball and a strike.
You know, it amazes me, Buzz, to get the position players that have turned into pitchers.
Right.
And actually make it to the big league.
Yeah.
I think you see that more so than pitchers turning into position players and making it to the big leagues.
Yeah, Rick Ankiel's the only one I can think of that went from the mound to the outfield in his case.
Right.
You don't see that going the other way very often.
No, and he was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
He was pretty good. Had some pop in his back, could play center field.
1-2 pitch, rolled up the middle into center field, a base hit for Dan Johnson. Well, Johnson with his second hit of the day and leadoff single here in the 8th inning. And Steve Thomas now coming up. For the Blue Jays, now have 11 base hits this afternoon. Steve Thomason coming to the plate does not have one yet. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the second. 0 for 2 other than that. And the batting average at .248. First pitch from Matt West. Donaldson shows bunt and takes low for ball 1. Well, John Gibbons, despite being down at the bottom of the order, the number 8 hitter, maybe asking Tollison to lay down a sacrifice, see if they can get an insurance run into scoring position. West sets a check of first. No bunt here. And Tollison pops one down the right field line. Long run for Daniel Robertson into foul territory. He makes the catch. And we'll run it back in. That little toss into Elvis at second base. Nice running play by Daniel Robertson. Well, he had to contend with the stands. This warning track is not a dirt track. It is a synthetic track, so you don't really notice the difference that much in how it feels to your feet.
No, you've got to know where you are on the field. And even though this is not his home park, the first time playing here, you still have to know where the stands are, where the warning track is. And that's a great play, keeping his focus on the ball and knowing where he was. That's the only thing. When you go from that green turf to the brown turf that simulates dirt, you don't know the difference. It's just a different color. It's not a different texture. So knowing where you are on the field is paramount out there.
Have to teach your shoes how to distinguish colors. Okay, we're on the warning track now. Slow up. Now, I know it looks more pleasing aesthetically, but it doesn't do a bit of good for a guy chasing a ball, does it?
No, it's not. It gives you no warning.
0-1 the count to Gose. Anthony Gose takes the pitch outside from Matt West at 95 miles an hour. Gose 1 for 3 today. And Matt West, who has sufficiently recovered from Tommy John surgery on his right elbow to get that ball up to 95, and Rangers feel like he probably has a little bit more in that big arm of his. Base hit to left field. So Gose with his second opposite field knock. First and second with 1 out now for the top of the order. And Mike Maddox making a quick trip out to the mound to talk to Matt West. And while he's on his way out there, let's check in with John Radigan. John?
Yeah, Buzz, of course, we are all headed to New York after this game. And game 1 of a 4-game series is tomorrow. AT&T U-verse reminds us that it'll be at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest. Elvis against Derek Jeter. And I'm told tomorrow night is Derek Jeter bobblehead night, so there should be a full house as usual at the new Yankee Stadium. Game 1 of that series tomorrow from New York. Guys, back up to you.
All right, John, thank you. Derek Jeter bobblehead night. We get to be here for that.
How about that?
Wow.
Think we'll be able to get one?
I don't know. If we don't, you can have. Or if we do, you can have mine.
I think I'll pass.
Yeah. All kidding aside, it's going to be great to see him and see him on a night like that. All the accolades that you can bestow on Derek Jeter, he's earned over the course of 20 years.
He definitely deserves it. And he definitely earned it. It's not an easy thing to do, to play on the biggest stage for 20 years and do as well as he's done.
Matt West trying to throw a breaking ball on the first pitch to Jose Reyes and almost threw it to the backstop. Nice reactions by Giovanni Soto to nab that wild offering. So 1 ball, no strikes. Reyes 1 for 4 today. He had a 2-run single in the second inning. Has runners at first and second, 1 out here in the 8th. And West taking something off that. Got to have a weak swing and a miss from Jose Reyes. One and one. Dan Johnson, the lead from second. Anthony goes away from first. And the pitch high and outside. Matt West, the 25-year-old, originally the second-round pick of the Rangers back in 2007. Two-one pitch. Base hit to center field. Up with the ball in throwing to the plate, Leonis Martin, and that holds Dan Johnson at third. Good thing he would have been out by a mile, but bad news is the Blue Jays have the bases loaded with 1 out and Kawasaki coming up.
Well, Matt West throws Reyes a fastball. Again, this is right down the middle, and Reyes jumps all over it, drives it to center field. Missing that spot. Not anything Odor can do. He made a nice effort with Leonis Martin's reputation of having a good, accurate arm out in center field. And Johnson had to be held up at third base. So bases loaded, still an opportunity for Matt West to get out of this inning without any damage.
3 singles, bases full. Munenori Kawasaki stepping in, 1 for 4 this afternoon. Had an infield single back in the first inning. Rangers playing the middle of the infield back. They will play the cornermen up even with their bags. At third is Rosales. At first is Jimenez. And the pitch is high and inside for ball 1. Kawasaki a .287 average. And, Blue Jays today 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And right now they've got the sacks full. 1-0 pitch. Looper up the middle behind the bag into center field, a base hit. 1 run is home. Everybody else advances 90 feet. Kawasaki with the RBI single that makes it a 7-5, Toronto lead. Not hit hard, but placed well.
Just trying to come inside on Kawasaki. Again, the ball stayed out over the middle of the plate. Kawasaki gets jammed a little bit, but just past Odor. Made a great effort for it.
Well, a run home, and the bases remain loaded with 1 out. And Melky Cabrera, who homered his last time up, stands in. Off speed in the dirt for ball 1. Cabrera today is 2 for 4. Along with a home run, he also had a single. He scored twice. A couple of grand slams for the Blue Jay left fielder. Ron Washington talking to Tim Bogart. West sets at the belt, the 1-0 pitch. Hard hit by Odor into right center field. One run is home. Here comes the throw from Robertson toward the plate. And in standing is Jose Reyes, a 2-run single for Melky Cabrera. And it's a 9-5 Blue Jays lead.
West kept this ball up in the zone, trying to go away from Cabrera. Out, up over the middle of the plate. And again, most big league hitters are not going to miss that pitch when it's up in the zone and down the middle of the plate. Cabrera hits a hot smash past the diving Odor. A couple more runs for the Blue Jays.
Well, the Blue Jays have opened up a 4-run lead with 3 runs here in the 8th inning. And they are looking for more with runners at first and second. Jose Bautista coming up. Bautista 1 for 3. Scored a run after he walked in the 3rd inning. Kawasaki at second. Cabrera at first as West sets. Strike 1. Bautista's only hit today was a looping double down the right field line. That was back in the 5th inning. Oh, 1 pitch. That's down the right field line too, and it is slicing and going foul. Well, the Rangers are in an extreme overshift in the outfield. They have Daniel Robertson way over in right center field, and there's got to be 130 feet or 140 feet of straightaway right that's available to Bautista.
And he's trying to go that way with it.
Yeah.
So you look at how the defense is set up and you wonder, why does the pitch get thrown outside?
Yeah, why a fastball outside?
Right. So hopefully he missed the spot.
And he gets a strikeout on a good fastball there. Matt West blowing away Jose Bautista. That is out number 2.
Matt West hit his spot, almost hit his spot. Soto sets up inside. The ball comes back out over the middle of the plate. Bautista missed that one.
Now, Deanna Navarro, you know, that's something we talk about, the shifts, the proliferation of shifts and overshifts for that matter. Don't do much good when you don't throw the ball where you're supposed to.
No, and that's what the shifts are designed for. If the pitcher, it starts with the pitcher. It doesn't start with the defense or how the hitter hits. It depends on the pitcher. The game plan, you go over the game plan before the game and say, here's how I'm going to pitch every hitter, and then you set your defense accordingly. And if that pitcher hits his spot, more times than not every time, but more times than not, that batter is going to hit the ball where it's pitched and where that defense is set up.
Right.
Even in that extreme shift. That's why that extreme shift is there.
1 ball, no strikes to count to Navarro, who is 2 for 4. He also has single or doubled and homered today. Got the off-speed pitch, couldn't do anything with it. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Blue Jays 9 runs on 15 hits this afternoon. We got 3 across here in the 8th inning, and runners still at first and second. Kawasaki at second, Cabrera at first. 1-1, the count to Navarro. Hard hit, but there's where the shift is going to help you out. Odor on to first, that'll do it. The Blue Jays scored 3 times. They had 5 hits and strand 2. 9th inning coming up from Toronto. It's the Blue Jays 9 and the Rangers 5. take a look back at our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the day. And Ranger leadoff man today, Daniel Robertson, the second of his two-run singles. That was a freaky fast single in the 6th inning as he drove home. At that time, the tying runs in this ball game. Daniel Robertson going freaky fast right through the middle of the diamond. Thanks to Jimmy John's for that look back. And Robertson now leading off the 9th inning will face the 4th different pitcher for the Jays this afternoon.
And the numbers for Casey Janssen is 24th ball game, 3-0 record. Say 14 out of 16 ball games, an ERA, an excellent ERA of 1.23. And he hasn't been scored on in 20 of his 23 appearances so far this year.
So Casey Janssen, 32-year-old right-hander who has taken over the closing duties here in Toronto. Obviously not a save situation here, but still nonetheless trying to close out what would be a series win for the Blue Jays. Misses high. 2-0 now to Daniel Robertson. Robertson, as we mentioned, 2 for 4 today. 4 RBI. That's a new career high. Janssen, a Southern California product. Went to college at UCLA. He was a first-team All-Pac-10 as a pitcher out there, and he also spent some time as their DH and first baseman. Another one of those position guys that decided that life on the mound was better.
Maybe a little easier.
A little easier. Yeah. Well, there you don't have to chase your mistakes. You know, you've got other people to do it for you. Falling behind very quickly, Janssen now 3-1. The pitch is down the middle. The count is full. Well, Robertson trying to get aboard to start the Ranger 9th. They trail by 4. Elvis Andrus will be next. Janssen with a payoff pitch. Down the right side and slicing back into the seats. Goes over to take a look. And it's back 6 rows. So Daniel back in the batter's box. Casey Janssen wasting no time. He's back up on top. Another 3-2. That's lined to right field, but right at Anthony Goh. And Daniel putting good wood on the ball again, but this time nothing to show for it. That is out number 1. And Elvis now coming up. Andrus 1 for 4 today. Had a double back in the 5th inning. 264 the season average. Janssen's first pitch to him is outside for ball 1. And Elvis takes the strike. Andrus in his career has faced Janssen 5 times, and he's 1 for 4 with a walk. Two and 1 now. Janssen's next pitch looped into right center. That's going to fall for a base hit. No, Elvis with his second safety of the afternoon. 2 for 5 now, as he is at first with 1 out. And Adrian Beltre coming up.
Well, one thing the Rangers need are base runners right now, obviously. And Elvis gets a pitch on the outer half of the plate. Looks like a little cutter there. Hits it off the end of the bat, breaks his bat. Elvis stays with it. He's got himself the second base hit of the day.
Well, the Rangers now in double figures with 10 base hits. Adrian's still looking for his first one. He is 0 for 4. Takes that breaking ball from Casey Janssen for strike 1. Back to the plate. Adrian almost tried to pull the trigger on that off-speed pitch and held up. It was just low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Career-wise, Beltre 4 for 15 against Jansen. Chopper slowly hit to third. Collison across the diamond to get Beltre into second safely is Elvis Andrus, but he's there now with 2 outs. And Chris Jimenez coming to the plate. Well, the Rangers need to string some base hits and walks together if they are to get back in this ball game. Down to their last out here in the 9th inning. Jimenez a pair of walks today. Chris has also struck out and grounded out. 0 for 2 officially. Jansen okays the sign. And Jimenez taken all the way. Looks at strike 1. Right-hander, ready once again. That is right on the outside corner. 0-2. In this crowd of just over 36,000 at Rogers Center, most of them on their feet. Jansen with a high set. The 0-2 pitch. Again, the right-hander ready to work. Looped into left field. That is going to be down for a base hit. Elvis will score, extending this 9th inning. Chris Jimenez gets the RBI single. It's now a 9-6 Toronto lead with Jake Smolinski coming up.
Nice job by Jimenez staying on that breaking ball with 2 strikes. It's a hanging one from Jansen. Hooks it out into left field to drive in another run.
Smolinski 0 for 3. He does have a walk to his credit today, and he takes a strike from Jansen. Smolinski now at 344 with the average. Jimenez at first and 2 outs. 1-1 the count. Jansen, not an overpowering guy, not the kind of stuff you think of as a closer, and very rarely does he break 90. But a good variety of pitches and normally pretty impeccable control.
That's all that really matters with a closer. It doesn't matter how hard you go. Can you execute pitches and hit your spots? You don't have to come in throwing 98, 99 miles an hour to be an effective closer. Or to be an effective anything.
Right. 2-1 now, the count to Smolinski. Base hit to left field. And the Rangers now have the tying run coming to the plate after back-to-back 2-out singles here in the 9th inning. A 9-6 game. And Giovanni Soto on his way to the plate looking into the Ranger dugout. He's going to be called back. So with Jimenez at second, Smolinski at first. Soto, the scheduled hitter, called back to the dugout as you see Smolinski get that base hit. The only left-handed hitter on the bench is Shin-Soo Choo, and he's the one that is going to come up here as a pinch hitter. So Soto, who had singled and doubled in his last 2 times at the plate, lifted in favor of the left-handed hitting Shin-Soo Choo. Looking out into the Blue Jays bullpen, they do have a left-hander up and throwing if John Gibbons would choose to go that way. Aaron Loop, cross-firing left-hander. And if he's ready, you would think that he would be a viable option for John Gibbons. DeMarlo Hale, Gibbons' bench coach, talking to him there. Going to let Jansen go ahead and face Chu, apparently, in this situation. Until now. John Gibbons said, no, I'm not going to go any further with that.
A little chess game going on right now.
Chu gets announced, and John Gibbons said that's going to be it. Now, the Rangers do have a couple of right-handers on the bench if they want to counter down to 1 out. Oh, we'll see how this chess match goes on. As Aaron Loup coming on, Casey Jansen finished. 2 runners aboard. Rangers trailing by 3 with 2 outs here in the 9th. We'll be back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Ranger bench as a pinch hitter for the pinch hitter. Jin-Soo Choo was announced, and when John Gibbons went to the left-hander Luke, Ron Washington countered with Aaron Sebia.
Numbers for Aaron Loup, his 47th ball game. 3-2 record, 3 saves. Walk to strikeout ratio, 39-24. Opponents are only hitting 193 off of him.
Well, Aaron Sebia, who homered here on Friday night in his return, first time as a visiting player coming into Toronto, and he was trying to knock that out of the dome.
I think he's trying to hit the top of it for sure.
Yeah,
put a hole in it maybe. But this is what he's up there to do.
That's right.
He's not coming in. He's not pinch hitting to hit a single.
And Jimenez at second, Smolinski at first. Aaron Sebia, the tying run at the plate in a 9-6 game. And Luke just missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. .149 the season average for JP with a couple of home runs, 9 RBI, and we'll remind you he had 14 home runs in 48 ball games at AAA Round Rock. Luke trying to loop in that breaking ball and didn't quite get it to the back door. It is 2-1.
Yeah, the one thing Luke was going to do, he's going to try and stay away from JP. JP likes the ball in, and so far all 3 pitches have been outside.
Aaron Sebia, you can see that back foot pretty close to the inside corner of the plate. Slightly open stance. And a called strike. Good spot there if you can get that call. Well, the Rangers, the second time in this inning, down to their final strike. 2-2, and again the crowd on its feet here at Rogers Center. Loop ready, the 2-2 pitch. That'll fill the count now with 2 outs. Both Jimenez and Smolinski will be off and moving. That helps the Ranger cause just a bit. Runners with that head start, and if Arancibia keeps the inning alive, Leonis Martin would get a chance to come to the plate. Loop, a long look in. And now everything comes to a halt as Arancibia backs out. Outfield, or infield, a couple of steps around to the left. The outfield straight away. Loop with a payoff pitch. Popped him up. First baseman Dan Johnson coming in, makes the catch, and that will do it. So Loop able to come on to get the pinch hitter Arancibia. And the Blue Jays walk away with a 9-6 victory here this afternoon. Aaron Loop gets the save in this ball game. Natali Feliz gets the loss for the Rangers as they drop 2 out of 3 to start this road trip. 9-6 the final. And this is how it ended.
Loop throws a changeup down out of the zone, and JP being aggressive got out in front of it and popped him up. Loop didn't really give JP much to hit.
Well, the Rangers for the first time this year now are 20 games under 500, 39 and 59. We'll be back to Rogers Center to wrap things up right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.